honor. I met you at a Heart Driven Women's event, and it was in was it Vegas? Yeah, it was in Vegas, and it was so awesome. I think it was Sacramento.
Sacramento. Yep.
Yeah, and it was really awesome. I absolutely loved meeting you. You were charming, and I was like, whoa, who is this girl? And then come to find out, we have a lot of mutual friends in the business and partners that we like interact with all the time. So I was super excited. And my team was excited that I got a chance to meet you. So I know your team is called Aspire. Our team is called Inspire, pretty much after my last name. So, and also they're so inspiring, I can't stand it. So tonight I just want to share with you three things. The first thing I'm going to share with you is my business and my product story, very briefly, because it's not that interesting. And then I'm going to share with you how to work your business during the summer, implementing the 3-foot rule. So really, I started taking Juice Plus 25 years ago. My sister brought it home to me and my 7 brothers and sisters. And I didn't know what I was taking. I just knew that I couldn't take vitamins. They made my stomach hurt. And so Lori said, everybody take it. So we all took it. And we didn't even share it with our children. That's how crazy it was. So I started taking it. And then about 13 years later, there's a teaching moment in this. My sponsors are Chris and Nikki Cotton. They called me. They looked on their genealogy report when Dr. Delia Garcia was coming here to give a lecture, and they found a 480 area code, and they called me out of the blue and said, hey, how's your business doing? Well, I did not know that there was a business to Juice Plus, and I was just a single mom trying to make it happen. I got $800 for my child support check, and I was doing all kinds of, you know how you are when you love your kids. You do all this free stuff, right? You do the school things, you're on boards and all of that, and that's what I was doing. And that $800 a month certainly didn't, help me with my nails and my massages and my hair and everything else I wanted to do. So I just went, just kind of curious, and like I said, I was taking it for myself. An orthopedic surgeon was taking it with me, and a girlfriend of mine who had breast cancer. 3 of us were taking it for 13 years. What I would do is I would order it wholesale. It would ship to my house. I would wait to find them in the community, give them their box. They would give me a check. And when I found out that I can put it online and it could ship directly to their house, I was thrilled. I did it merely because it was easy, because I had those kids to raise and I was up to my eyeballs in all kinds of stuff. And so I just went to that first meeting, and I really liked what I heard. And she said something that I'll never forget. She said, this is the first time in her practice that she has ever seen 17-year-olds look for cancer options. And I just couldn't live with myself if I didn't share it with other people. So that was that. And then I started doing it as a hobby. I don't recommend that, but certainly you're welcome to do it. I did it as a hobby for probably 5 or 6 years. And then I went to Q school and I got the big picture. I got a huge vision, and I was super excited to be able to see the potential. Average people making above average income. And I was like, wow. And one of the things that really blew me away at the Q school was they had our trophies there on the table, and they even picked one out of the mix, and she wasn't at NMD yet. And she said, see, we have this trophy. That's how confident that they were that we were going to get to NMD. By the time you make it to Q, we should be getting to NMD, correct? So that's my business story. I was taking it for so long. I had a reflux. I had spasm of my esophagus. I had chronic neck pain and back pain. All went away when I started taking it. My doctor wanted me to take Prilosec for GERD. And I remember our president saying that not our president, but President Jay Martin saying that he had reflux too. And it all went away. It all went away after I took it, after I started taking Juice Plus. So I started sleeping really, really hard after I started adding the Vineyard. And I absolutely love the Omegas. I don't have any pain in my knee. I hike the mountain all the time, and I don't have any more pain in my knee from that. So those are my minor little stories, and I can tell you countless and countless of stories of families I have impacted since I started sharing and carrying this beautiful, amazing product. So I'm going to also now talk a little bit about how to work your business during the summer. First and foremost, you want to organize your calendar. Now, I'm responsible for the whole state of Arizona. So I really like to get the whole year in place so that we can start organizing. You start taking your vacations around the big rocks, right? So, of course, my kids all know not to have babies during conference time. I'm just kidding. But they also know that I don't jump right away when they do have a baby, because they really find that time with their husband and themselves really special, that bonding moment. And I just really appreciate that so much. They have amazing marriages. I'm so grateful for. God has really blessed them with awesome men and awesome women. So, and I didn't know that that would happen for some time. If you've raised enough kids, you know what I'm talking about. So, I put my 2 conferences in there. I put a boot camp or a summit now in there. And I make it a habit of going to a boot camp every summer. A boot camp or a summit now that we have those. So why do I say that? Because it keeps us fresh and motivated. And, to be honest, it's like if you get the latest and the greatest stuff, and you're able to bring that energy and that enthusiasm back to your team. So I really recommend that you make it a habit to get to a massive regional. We have a great regional here, but if you don't have a big regional in your town, to go to a boot camp, and there's a ton of them if you just go on to Juice Plus events that you can see in your insights that come to you every Wednesday in your inbox. So I just really recommend you guys try to do that. Then, so let's look at the atmosphere in most homes in the summer, okay? What's happening? The kids are in your way. You seem like you can't get on the phone without fear of somebody screaming in your face or in the call. And so it's all about verbiage in the summer, and it's all about, getting your kids involved in either summer camps. I recommend, if you have your kids involved in summer camps, or even if you don't, go to them early. Expect to talk to another mom or dad or a grandpa, and mention, gosh, I hope they get out in time. We have a healthy pizza making celebration party tonight, and I can't wait for it. And they were really looking forward to it. Create language that will trigger them saying, wow, what's that all about? What is that? So you want to make it fun. Make your interaction with people fun, and make sure that you find some commonality. And I'm positive you can find commonality with almost everybody. And really, you don't want to miss that. You just say, gosh, and he doesn't really want to miss this. And wait for them to comment, wait for them to say, gosh, I love that kind of thing. Come up with creative ways to engage. There's a really cool book that I found on Amazon. I haven't used it yet, but I'm pretty good at event planning because that was my job for 40 years. So I absolutely love stepping out of the box and doing things. We just did 2 events this last weekend. It was a tequila tasting and taste of the shred. Now, nobody was going to get hammered. The girl that came in said, you're getting enamored, not hammered. And she had the whole history of tequila, and we had yummy food. And we had, one of my reps had 12 guests at her house. And then we had one on the east side of town and one on the west, which was really neat. But so, have a movie theme, and have, I have shared the business with people in barbershops, in Trader Joe's, sitting next to people in restaurants. A guy who came in and fixed my stove. I said, you've been so kind. Let me give you your fruits and vegetables for the day. And I gave him some gummies, and he's like, this stuff is rocks. I love it. Where did you get it? And I said, I can set you up right now. So, anybody, soccer moms, spa technicians, landscape guys, and I can go a little bit more in detail about what some of that is. But, even when you go on vacation, I just spent 28 days away. First, I went to the women's event in Las Vegas, And then I did a wedding in Redondo Beach, California. Came home one day, and then I went to Charlotte, Nashville, Chicago, Dallas, and Little Elm, Texas. And I was gone all that time, and I got 7 customers and 3 reps. So I think that don't use the excuse that you're going to be traveling, because that is actually the best time. And somebody like an NMD or a national marketing director that has gone through her whole warm market, if my son or my sister does not take Juice Plus, shame on them. They eventually do. I'm here to tell you they eventually do. But if you can get past your family, you'll get to NMD or get to SC, whichever you want. It's not like you have to. I have a friend who's a senior sales coordinator, and she makes $5,000 a month. So she even has an NMD underneath her, which is their daughter. So I'm here to tell you it's super simple. Now, a lot of times people will say to me, I just don't, I don't have the verbiage you have. I'm going to show you a little video clip here that's going to show you, okay, now these people work for Stanley Steamer, and they're all different kinds of people. And when you have a rep and you're going, whoa, I do not see them sharing Juice Plus, right? I'm telling you that anybody can share at any place. It's just use your own personality. Don't try to be a Wendy Campbell or Leah or me or anybody else. Just use your own personality and share from your heart. So I'm going to show this funny little video that I showed at one of our regionals. I think it's really cool. Tell me if you can thumbs up that you can see the screen. It's all black. Thumbs up. Okay, here it goes. I'm gonna move these guys out of the way. All right, here we go.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets carpet cleaner. 1-800-STEAMER. Oh, Stanley Steamer is the carpet cleaner. Stanley Steamer gets carpet cleaner. 1-800 Stanley Steamer is the carpet cleaner. Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer is the carpet cleaner. He's my carpet cleaner. Oh yeah. Ooh. Stanley Steamer, Stanley Steamer. It wasn't that didn't know it go. A dirty carpet, I'm close to you. I was slow, so I picked up the phone. And then called through my
So you know what I'm saying? You have all kinds of reps and you don't have to make judgment on them. Some of them are not going to be like you. Some of them are going to be wild. Some of them are going to be other religions. Some of them are going to be other nationalities. Love them where they're at. Love them and bring them into your team with an inclusive, loving way that you can, they can do their own, they can be their own self and do this. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a certain way or look a certain way. And that's the biggest thing is I wanted to share with you is a lot of times people think it has to look a certain way and it doesn't at all, not one bit. I'm going to see if I can move this over. Let's see. So, you know, and so I asked Leah if she can, you know, possibly share with you if you had anything that you wanted to bring to me as a challenge that you might have. And so you're welcome to ask the questions, but I'll keep training as long as there's no questions. Trying to see if I can take this off of here.
And don't be shy, team. Hop on, because you're talking to somebody who knows their stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, don't be hesitant at all. Trying to find out where my notes are. So I just, you know, I have shared the business in so many peculiar ways. I've been at a bar in Cobblestone Lucas. There'd be everybody sitting by the bar having cocktails and stuff, and they're all tasting all the sushi. And I'm like, hey, who has grandkids that drive you nuts because of the way they eat? Raise your hand. And everybody jumps on. They're like, me. And then, like, how would you like to learn a few simple solutions on maybe how to get them to eat more fruits and vegetables? And, you know, everybody, and when they're on vacation, they don't think you're weird. You know what I mean? It's just really important for you to just be yourself and have fun doing it. Find those commonalities. Find, you know, when I'm in the post office and I look down and this little snotty-nosed little girl's there with her mommy, I'll look at the mom, I'm like, oh, I remember those days. And she will open up and say things. She will open up and say something that really she needs help with. So you want to have your antennas up and be a solutioneer for people so they can, like, always, you know, find what you have to offer them of value and not like you're pitching them a product. I never say Juice Plus. I never say the Tower. I always say whole food produce. I always say, if it gets to that point, I ask so many questions until it gets to that point. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if you guys have a habit of doing that. You know, I used to, when I first started the business, I was getting between 5 and 10 customers every single month. Sometimes I would get 20. That's when I was building my business, and I didn't have the events like you did. You know, I was an event planner, and I was really tired of doing events. So I did them one-to-one. I got my first 40 customers one-to-one. Like, I can remember my friend Lynn, who's a nurse, and I opened up the on-the-go books. And I don't know if you guys have been in long enough to know what they are, but they were booklets that we used at our home parties or with people that showed, you know, one out of every 3 men have heart disease, one out of every, you know, Dr. Sears was in it. And so I said, Lynn, sit down. I got something to show you. And I opened up the book and I was thumbing through it for her. And I go, you and Duffy need this. He goes, he has really bad allergies. You guys need this. She goes, okay, sign me up. I mean, some people you can say that, just give me a credit card, you know you need it. There are some people in your life that you can say that to. Raise your hand if you have tried that. Have you tried it? If you haven't tried it, I dare you to try it. You might have an uncle, you might have somebody that suffers from chronic something, and I'm telling you, just say, look, you know you need it. Give me your frequent flyer card. I have a list of one-liners that I'll send Leah that she can send to you. And then I also have a list of a swag bag. And what I mean by that is the bag you keep in your car that you always have in your car. So I always say to my team, never go out of the house without being fully dressed. And what I mean is, If you say, how do you like to learn? Do you like to read? Do you like to listen? Do you have a CD in your car? Or are you like a website person? And they will say, gosh, I really like to read. And then you can get them to read something because you have it in your bag in your car. And there are often times when I go somewhere and I don't have that item in my car. And so now that, somebody today, I was in a couch store, and the lady had come to one of our events over the weekend. And she says, I had breast cancer. I solved it myself. I'm taking all these nutrients and all this stuff. I'm totally set, but my mother can't stand the chewables that she's on. How can I order those? And I used to say, and I did, I said, just give me her address and her credit card, text it to me, and I'll put an order in. Instead, I went right to my Juice Plus website, went to the adult chewables, I copied it, and I sent it to her in a text, and she ordered it. What does that do? That teaches her already that we're in e-commerce. It's like an Amazon. She's going to be able to do that. My sister just did that today. I didn't even know she put an order of omegas in. My other sister was suffering from like depression and stuff, and I sent her some omegas, and she must have said something to my other sister because she ordered the omegas right away. So what teaches them to create their portal, because the customer will give the corporate will give them the opportunity to sign in their own portal. And then it teaches them that they can put it in themselves. They're in control of their own credit card, and they feel good about doing that. They really do. A lot of people are a little nervous about giving somebody a credit card. I haven't had that problem, but there are people that don't even they like to put in their like a bank draft. And so it becomes a little bit more complicated. So I'm at 8:25, I think. Is it 8:25? Yeah. So I have 5 minutes. If you have a question, a burning question that you have approached somebody and you want to, say something to somebody, you don't know how to, say it, you can unmute yourself and ask that question. I'd love to help you. I love helping you do that. Or even a vent in your house. We were talking about a burgers. What were we talking about, Janet? It was burgers, brats, and business for men. And I was thinking, and then somebody else said, oh, I have a golf pro. How about that? Have a golf pro over. He can always bring his cards and have him show everybody how to perfectly swing a club. And then have smoothies with it. I mean, how cool would that be? And so you'll incite more men. We have a lot of men on our team. So, the men overrule the women in Europe, but here we have a lot of women. So, try to see if you can create more activity or more events that are a little out of the box, not your basic, we used to make our balls. Now we already bring them like a Christmas cookie exchange. We bring them already made, and then everybody goes home with their allotment. So I think, Herma, did you have a question? Go ahead.
I didn't have a question. No, I didn't have a question.
It's Diana.
Okay.
You already answered the first one that was burning, is how to broach it. When we were in Sacramento, it was easy for me to talk about why I was there. No problem. And the family, I don't have problems, but for strangers, I think you've already answered that. The only other one is it's too expensive. I just had somebody tell me that 3 days ago. Oh, it's too expensive.
So do you mind me doing a little coaching with you around that?
Okay.
Okay, so do you think it's expensive?
I do not. Oh, you're me and I'm.
No, I'm asking you the question. Do you think
I do not. No, I don't think it's expensive.
Great. So what if somebody says that, I'm like, really? Compared to what? Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I think that's the best part of this whole thing. For under $2, I have a meal. Or for $1.85, I get all the essence of 40 fruits and vegetables in a capsule, or whatever it is now.
Right.
I mean, I just like, compared to what? Share with me. What is it? Like, compared to what?
that's a good one. You can't really argue that one, can they?
Yeah, I mean, and it's really prioritizing your pantry, right?
Right.
So what I found is that I hardly ever buy breakfast food anymore. I really don't. So I really eat really inexpensively twice a day. If I do shakes twice a day, we happen to be on the shred right now.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. I do that myself. That's perfect. Thank you.
anybody else? I think for the shakes and the whole shred program is something like $5 a day. Can you imagine eating 2 meals and taking all your Juice Plus for $5 a day? I mean, really. Yes, Heidi.
Aleta, it's actually, when you count, if you do the quad and and 2 shakes a day, it's only $7 a day. I mean, it is just, I don't know anywhere where you can get 2 meals and all that nutrition for $7 a day. It's crazy.
Right.
Aleta, it's Trina. We do have some men on our team, and I'm just wondering what other types of events, or like how are they working the business?
The men don't like really, it's like they'll come to a salad in a jar party because they like having the salads in the refrigerator the next week, but they won't organize the salad in a jar party. A lot of them they love the Tower Garden. So that would be a good way in. Maybe create a Tower Garden party where you can show, I have a folder of lots and lots of Tower Garden pictures. So I'll run a loop on my TV of the tower, and then they can put it together, and they can just have beer and brats or whatever. I mean, if the man is a leader of any sort, he's going to create an event in his home. I don't care if it's barbecue turkey sandwiches on gluten-free bread or whatever. They can come up with some kind of a video which would be enticing to a man, right? So it seems like a lot of the men really like to see how tequila was made and the fact that it was from a city named Tequila or something. So that was kind of an easy one to get them to. But a lot of them come with their wives. And so I would, there's just so many other things that they can do with, and have it be. A lot of them do support their wives and come with their wives. I did one in Little Elm, Texas, and it was a salad in a jar, and there was men there. And the man that we did it for had put the tower up, and he was there with all the guys around the tower talking about the tower and how great it was. And we ended up going to a restaurant, and the manager of the restaurant now is very interested in towers, and he has a meeting there on Tuesday with the general manager, and there's 9 of the whiskey and cake restaurants in the Dallas area. So it ends up being worth it. Even if you have 2 people there, get on the phone with their people. If you go, nobody will come. I've been in houses with the tiniest apartment with 5 tiny wiener dogs, and it was not very organized. And we put it together in a half an hour. We set up the setup, and she had all of her family come. And it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your house looks like. It doesn't matter. We have to get out of ourselves. And even if you feel like you need to clean your house, just think you'll have it clean for the whole week.
I love that. That's so awesome. So what I really got out of this, was go share with everyone, anywhere, be authentic, be prepared, be confident, be creative, and ask a ton of questions.
Right. And like I think wearing a Juice Plus shirt or a Tower Garden shirt or having a cup like What If, something that is kind of makes somebody say, what is that? Nothing that's blatantly Juice Plus. I had a crew of guys that were plumbers come in and look at my house, and they gave me a estimation of $13,000 to redo my house. Well, they left, and I didn't employ them because I know somebody who could do it for a lot less. but all 3 of them got on Juice Plus. So they were all talking about their wives and their health and the fact that their wives are like just need more energy. And so I got them all on Juice Plus. I was looking, remember the little acorns we have had? I've had reps just put their keys down on a counter and people would like, what are those? And you make it mysterious. You open up the acorn and go, are you kidding me? You don't know what these are? Oh my gosh, can you imagine? There are all these fruits and vegetables in this teeny tiny capsule? No, you're kidding. Can you imagine what you would be like if you were in a capsule? You know, I mean, you just have to make it fun. I've gotten flight attendants, dress shop clerks, hairdressers. I know Tony Branner goes to a different hairdresser every 6 weeks.
Oh.
So friends of friends, you know, if you have a baseball or soccer mom, you can say, hey, while the kids are playing soccer or they have a baseball practice, why don't we all get together and I'll go over a little healthy living, how we can arm our children with great nutrition, how we can arm them for their athletic performance. And you get one of Tony Branner's books, you know, The Care and Feeding of an Athlete. Skim through that. Print up some of when you go and do booths somewhere where there's lots of kids, like, you know, basketball tournaments or whatever, you do booths there. Print up off Dr. What's his name? The one who was the Olympic coach. He's down in San Diego.
Yes.
Paul Strickler.
Yeah.
On his website, there's all these handouts for athletes. Print them up. Tell them, I will give you a book of how the care and feeding of an athlete if you bring 3 guests to your party. It just make it interesting. Make them want to bring people, make them want to come, so you are going to give them something of value. And now it's pretty easy because you can give them, you know, the Healthy Living Revolution cookbook, a shred cookbook. You know, I don't ever tell them that they're going to have that until they come. Because you have chosen to come here, we're going to gift everybody here with that 100-page Healthy Living Revolution cookbook. It's in your inbox when you get home. So, by the way, I'm handing out these forms. Everybody put your name and address and phone number on this form. We pass it around. And if you were kind of curious on which program might be right for you, check out the program price. You have to do that, you guys. You have to ask for the sale and do the ABC close. Okay? A, go home and eat 7 to 15 more fruits and vegetables every day in a vine-ripened state. B, join us in starting to eat more fruits and vegetables by bridging the gap between what we're not eating and what we should be eating. And C, we need a lot of help. We need to overcome childhood obesity, or we need to create an income for families to have more passion, purpose, and possibility in their life. You have to have that form. People constantly, if there's not a form handed to them, they're always asking, well, how much is it? Don't ask them to ask that. They don't need to ask that in front of everybody. Give them the form so they can see all the programs. They can see, wow, that's only $2.50 a day. That's not bad. And then you go up to them and say, do you have any questions? Which program do you think would be right for you? Oh, by the way, do you have a kid that you'd like to sponsor? What is that all about? Well, check it over on the other page. It's all about that. Even college kids can sponsor each other. How cool is that? You know, so you want to make it to where they're going to be curious. You don't want to have to convince anybody. You want to offer them a solution. So we're at 8:37, girl. I want to honor your guys' time too.
Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, there were so many pearls. I took a page and a half of notes. I could have listened to you forever. So I just really want to thank you. I hear your authenticity and I see why you're a national marketing director and how comfortable you are with sharing what we've got. And I think that that's a huge thing for us to really decipher, is the fact that, you know, our world really does need this and we can't be afraid to go share it. We have to get out of our heads, get into our hearts, and really stop thinking so much about ourselves so we could think about others more. And it's a growing process, right? But the quicker that we, really start to have that mindset, the better. So thank you so much. Thank you all, team and guests, for hopping on. I am so excited for the next step. And, May was a wonderful month, and I can't even imagine the excitement at the end of June, how that's going to look for our team. So everyone have a wonderful night. And again, thank you so much, Aleta. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. You've been sweet.